What's up, beautiful jellyfish? It's Tracy. Thanks for taking the time to watch my video. I'm really in the mood to talk. When am I not, honestly? Like, you'd think after like a day of spending it with like 7th graders, you'd be like, I'm so worn out. But I had some chocolate before I filmed this and I'm just like, I have a lot of energy right now. So we're gonna talk. And you know what? I really meant to film this video before the Commander deck lists, but I forgot about it, and then I realized it was a little bit too late, and I was like wondering, I was like, oh man, I don't know if they're gonna be like, hey, I've already seen reviews on it, or like whatever, so if this is late, I'm really sorry. But also, I have gotten the chance to play with all of these decks actually a couple of times, so I can talk to you guys about playing with the decks. So I thought that would be kind of like a cool perspective, because, you know, when you kind of see cards, it's always very different from when you see them and then to when you actually play them. So I've kind of played the deck as a whole, and I just kind of wanted to like talk about them. So let's get started. So I'm kind of just going in this order, but I'll link the deck lists down below if you want to check out them. I'm on the Wizards website. Most of you have probably seen them. Oh, but like as a whole, I'm so excited for these. I am so excited that they're pushing more and more colors, because I really feel that, I don't know, like, I think if you have like one color, it just gets more fun to me the more colors you add, because there's more possibilities, and then I feel like the decks don't look as similar when you have like a variety of colors. I myself personally am a huge fan of like 5-color commanders. Like I have Super Friends as 5-color, and I'm actually going to talk about Super Friends a little bit later on when I get to E-Tracks. So yeah, okay. But yeah, I'm super excited about these. They're really awesome. I played through them a couple times. Oh, and I also wanted to say with these pre-con decks, getting these as a starter I think is awesome, but there's always room for taking cards out. There's always room for like, you know, trading cards that you already have in and putting in staples that you want and things like that. I think that's really important. Like I think one thing that a lot of these, like all these decks, except for, I can't remember which one, lacks is a chromatic lantern. I don't really know why a chromatic lantern wasn't like actually just one of the first cards that belongs, and all like that Wizards was like, yeah, we need a chromatic lantern. It's not like it's an expensive card, seriously. But I do think these are super awesome, and not only just for beginners. Like I personally think these are really great for just anyone who just wants like a new deck. I'm kind of worried personally to try and build any of these. I really actually want to build Braille. I was kind of like immediately attracted to her art the second I saw her. I was like, her art's super sweet. I love like awesome badass lady art to begin with, but then I also saw that and I was like, that seems like a really interesting type of deck, that artifact thing, that I don't have like that in any of my EDH decks, and I was like, you know what, maybe I want to make that. And then when I played around with it, I was like really excited. I think she's probably my favorite, I think, out of all of these. I don't know if I want to say I have a favorite, but I really do like the Braille deck. It's, what I like about it, it's kind of reminds me of like Duretti 2.0. Duretti's actually in the deck, but it's a very similar deck to Duretti, but I like that it's not, because you have all these fun color options to play with, and you get to play with artifacts that are not just red. You know, like, well, not just the artifacts are, but I don't know, you just get more color options, and I just think it's really cool. So, okay, let's get started. So, the first one is Malstrong Wielder. This is the one that is minus white. This deck's interesting. I feel like Malstrong Wielder is kind of like a lesser version of Malstrong Wanderer, whose Malstrong Wanderer is like the first card, because Malstrong Wanderer is like whenever it attacks, so you just get to cascade, which is just awesome. So it's like the middle of combat and you're like, cascading, seems good. But this is when it deals combat damage to a player. Now, you have all these color options, you have so many ways of making this thing unblockable. It's just a little bit annoying that it has to deal combat damage to a player. That's a little bit annoying. However, getting the chance to cascade is really, really awesome. Cascade's like a really super cool mechanic. I like it a lot. Yeah, to exile a card that costs less, but you have to exile stuff that costs less than this card. So as a commander, do I think this card's amazing? I'm not really like a huge fan. I'm just kind of like on the fence. Yeah, I think that there's a couple of really, really sweet cards in here. Like you have, oh, this is the one that does have Chromatic Lantern. Okay. It has a couple of staples. You know, you have your Soul Ring, which is awesome. I like that they included that. You have a couple of your Mana Rocks. I'm really glad that they did a lot of stuff with the Signets. I think that's another thing as a whole that I really, really liked. Overall, the deck, it's okay. It's personally not my playstyle, which is why maybe I'm like, meh, Cascade. I would personally like never build a Malstrong Wanderer deck. Then again, I knew a couple people who built that deck, so I'm just kind of like, it's not my jam. It's just not my cup of tea. Not my cup of tea. But if it's yours, that's awesome. Yeah, the deck seems interesting. I like it. Okay, then we have Saskia, the Unyielding. She's awesome. She's awesome. I think she's my second favorite. You know something? She's really good actually in 1v1. It doesn't look like it would be good in 1v1, but it actually is because your damage is kind of like doubled in a sense, which is just super awesome. Whenever a creature you control deals combat damage to a player. This card is just so good. And on top of that, you know, she's a 3/4. She's got vigilance and haste, which is just absolutely incredible. So she's just like super awesome. Yeah, I like her. I do. She's kind of got that Alesha, like, slight thing going on there, where she's got, like, a couple of, like, smaller creatures and things like that. I feel like maybe this deck lacks maybe potentially bigger creatures, because I feel like the deck is trying to do a lot of what Alesha is doing, so it has a lot of things with power 2 or less, so I feel like it kind of, you know, I think it kind of needs, like, some stuff that's maybe a little bit bigger, but I understand why it's not, because you're, in a sense, doing double damage. In a huge game of EDH, I don't think she's going to be good, though, because she's kind of specific to that. However, if you have a way to get her killed, because if, you know, like, that player that you killed, the chosen player, is you know, gone from the game, she's kind of useless. So if you have a way to maybe, like, mass board wipe, oh, that's another thing I want to say. Board wipes and removal is not too good in these. That's one thing that I would definitely substitute. I'm personally a huge fan of, like, let's just put a ton of removal in the deck, because to me, like, I'd be playing it and I'd be like, wow, you know what I could really use right now? Like, a Reclamation Sage. Or, you know, like, there's a couple of EDH cards that I think could have gotten here that, like, not just in this deck, but that could have gone in general that, you know, I felt like the decks were lacking with the amount of removal that there was, especially board wipes. I was just, like, constantly finding myself being like, can I have a board wipe, please? Oh, and I keep forgetting general things I want to say about them. Land, mana base. I really like how they did the mana base. I think that they had a nice variety of basic lands along with non-basics. They have the Ravnica bounce lands, which I personally love the Ravnica bounce lands. They have like I think they have the Gain Life lands in here. I think they have the Gain Life lands in here. They have the Buddy lands in here. Like, there's some really good, and the Tri lands, there's some amazing, amazing cards in these decks. I'm actually, like, really impressed by the value I think that they put in them. I think they did a really good job of that. Like, Windbrisk Kites, like, that's awesome, like, that they included that. I don't know, I think Buddy lands, too, I was, like, really surprised to see in here, so I think the mana bases they did a really good job with. Then we have kind of, like, my least favorite deck. Kainos and Tira of Maleta? I don't know how to say that. I'm really not a huge fan of this. I'm very aggressive in EDH, and I don't want to give people things. I don't want to give people lands. I don't want to give people cards. No, 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 thank you. I'm trying to, like, take that stuff away. I don't want them drawing cards and gaining life and... No, stop. Don't do that. I can do that. You can't do that. So I'm really not a huge fan of cards that give that. Overall, I think just the weakest, in my opinion, out of these. I'm just really not a huge fan of this deck. This one was kind of like the big disappointment to me. Oh man, I keep forgetting things. Partner commanders, super awesome. I love them. I think I used only 2 of the partner commanders. It was the deck that I talked about before this. I like them. I think they're really interesting. I think that's a really, really interesting dynamic. I'm really excited to see if they pursue more with the partner commanders. I just think it adds a really interesting dynamic, and I really like it. But yeah, this whole deck, not my jam personally. I just, you know, not my jam personally. Okay, then, okay, I don't know, maybe this one's my favorite. We have Atrax. She's just awesome. She's just really sincerely awesome. She's a great card all around. She's a 4-mana 4/4 flying vigilance death touch lifelink. At the end of each turn you proliferate? What? This is nuts. I personally think I'm gonna start to see a lot of people use her as the new Super Friends commander. Here's why I'm gonna tell you I am not personally going to be switching over and taking out red. Red doesn't really have a huge place in my Super Friends deck. However, I use it for Conflux. And Conflux to me is so good of a card. Yes, I understand that it's 1 card out of however many, but you know what? Conflux is just too good in my opinion to take out just for her as the commander, but it's something that I will consider in the future because she is really, really awesome. oh, she's such a good commander. Like, she's just so amazing. She's only 4 mana, so she gets killed. She's not that much to recast, and her abilities are just nuts. Like, she as a card is just amazing. I love that I feel like you can do so many different things with her. You know, you could do the +1/+1 counters. Like, this one's more creature-based, but you can use this as a Super Friends commander, and I'm really excited that Super Friends just got a new toy to play with. I do need an Atrax, actually, for my, or Atraxa, sorry. I do need an Atraxa for my Super Friends list, because she needs to be in there in general, because she's just nuts. One of the few creatures that I'll have, because she's so good. Okay, and then Braille. Her as a whole, she's amazing. Okay, she's 4 mana 4/4 ETBs. You get 2 1/1 things with flying. So right away there, she's giving you a lot of value. She's giving you for 4 mana 6 power and 6 toughness. On top of that, you can sack 2 artifacts to do multiple amount of things. First is she's kind of a lightning bolt, but she's only for a lightning bolt for a target player. Then kind of a better lightning bolt, so you give something -4/-4 on play turn, kills a lot of things, and then you gain 5 life. So overall, she just, to me, does everything. Like, she just, in a card, I think does so many different things that you want her to, and the fact that, again, she's, to me, Duretti 2.0, because she's, like, a better version of what I think Duretti does, because she just, you know, it doesn't cause her to tap, so you can still activate her ability. You know, like, you can do it as many times as you want, like, for how much mana you have, and, you know, you just get a ton of artifacts on the board, and then you just sack them, and then you bring them back. It's just, the synergy in this deck, I think, is just so on point. Like, I personally think that if you're, like, on the fence about getting any of these, I mean, see what your playstyle is, but personally, I just think Braille is just amazing. It's either that or Atraxa. Like, they're my personal 2 favorites. Like, Braille, to me, is just everything I kind of want in a card. And I'm personally not, like, not that I'm a huge, like, I'm against artifacts or anything, but I feel like I know a lot of people who play with artifacts in EDH, and, like, a lot of people in my play group, and I'm like, I don't want to do that. And now I'm kind of like, I don't want to build Braille because I feel like everyone's going to build her, and that was kind of, like, the big thing, I think, when a lot of these commanders come out. And I think it's, I don't know how to avoid it, and maybe they were trying to get away with it with the partner commanders because they're coming out with more options. I mean, I guess when you think about it, the commander sets always had a couple of options to choose from anyway. They had a couple of legendaries that you could pick from, but I feel like it makes it so a lot of people pick the same commander, and I don't want to build it because I don't want to build what everyone else is building. Like, I don't, and that's not just for me saying it in terms of, like, everyone in the world, but it's really saying it for my play group. Like, if everyone, like, a lot of people in the play group built Duretti, I wasn't going to build a Duretti deck because of that. And maybe at your game store that wasn't really a thing, but for me, I know so many people with that deck, and I didn't want to build it because I just didn't want to do that. I don't want to play what other people are playing, so I want to do my own thing. But yeah, she's super awesome. I think, like I said, I think the synergy in this deck is just so amazing. Works so well. I think, like, the one thing that I noticed about this deck that I wasn't really a huge fan of is she had, like, this one synergy with, like, equipments, and in my head, like, artifacts and artifact equipments are 2 completely separate things. That if you're kind of doing one or the other. And there's, like, kind of randomly, like, a Loxodon Warhammer in here, which I'm not, like, against that card at all. I really like that card. But I feel like you're doing Voltron or you're doing her ability. And to me, those 2 things didn't really, like, make sense. A card like Batterskull, I think, totally makes sense in this deck because you get the germ and then you can sack the artifact and then bring it back and get a germ. Like, you know, that to me just, like, makes sense. But I don't know. I just wasn't a huge fan. I was just, like, a minor note that I wasn't really a huge fan of. But you could take that out. Like, I think that if I were to get this, that would be one thing I would immediately take out. Would be all of, like, the equipment type things in this deck. Yeah, guys, I'm personally just a really huge fan of these commander decks. I haven't purchased any of them. I'm thinking about getting the Braille deck, but let me know what you guys think. Let me know if you've purchased any of them, and if you think that I should buy it, because I'm really, like, I'm just worried that I'm gonna get it and everyone's gonna have it, and that's, like, my big concern, because I feel like her and Atraxa, I think, are gonna be, like, the 2 heavy hitters where a lot of people at my game store are gonna build them, because I haven't been to my game store in a while, so I haven't, like, seen what people are building, so I have no idea what's going on in EDH land there. I have, like, no idea, so I just don't want to do everything everyone else is doing. I just, like, want to avoid that as much as I possibly can, so overall, I think super good value on these. I think Wizards, this was one of the best products to me, I think, that they've produced. Like, it's one of the best things that I've seen in a while for them, and I think they did a really good job with it. I think they did a great job with the mana base. I think they finally did something I think a lot of people really wanted, and I can't wait until they come out with 5-color commanders, because, or even if they just come out with one 5-color commander and like whatever. I really want them to do that. I really want them to push more colors, and this is a really good way of doing it. So that was it. I'll talk to you guys later.